Why hello everyone, and welcome to another Krebs Cool World of Tanks gameplay cast. This time around what we're going to be doing is a fan submitted replay. We're going to be following this gentleman that goes by the name of Zdevil, I guess, who's going to be playing in his T-44 tank, the USSR tank. I really actually honestly don't know much about this tank, to be honest with you guys. I have hardly touched the USSR tree. I've gone up to the KV. I'm mostly a German tank player. You know, I've gone up to the tier 8s on German tanks, and so that is my comfortable zone. I don't really know much about this. However, I did a little bit of research, so bear with me if you so can. This is a speedy tank. From what I've heard, that the stock version is absolutely dreadful. You should not even bother with this stock version. Apparently it's so bad that you should just save up your XP and go for a more upgraded version of the tank. But then again, that's kind of generic, isn't it? You can say that about every single tank in this game. And you know, I know this is going to go a little bit off track already, but don't you think that in World of Tanks, if you have a less upgraded tank, it should still be a bit more, I don't know, effective? That it should be unique in its own right in a match? I don't know, it would have its own pros and cons. So if you had a weaker gun, then you'd be massively faster, for example. I don't know, something like that, right? I also believe that World of Tanks should base their matchmaking system off of the equipment that you have on your tank, not the actual tank tier itself. Just because, again, if you have an unupgraded tank, you're sort of considered the same as a fully upgraded tank, which, in my opinion, is kind of unbalanced, especially if you're going to be the top of the tier. Say if you were the tier 4, T-44, which is the second highest in the leaderboards at the moment on his team. Technically, he's equal because he's a tier 8. But if he was unupgraded, then it'd pretty much be the same, wouldn't it, right? Okay, so that is just my opinion, so I know that was kind of off track. But anyway, so what's going to be happening in this replay is that this gentleman, Zdevil, is going to be going for the Ace Tanker achievement. So in my last cast, I was asking you guys to send in your Ace Tanker replays, and I got quite a few of them, so I'm just going to be doing this one because, I don't know, it seemed like a cool tank. I don't really know that much about it, but since it's speedy, it sort of reminds me a little bit of the Type 59, and I don't know, I just like speedy tanks. They're just cool, I suppose, right? So I just want to see how successful he's going to be. Now, this is going to be playing on the map Swamp. As you guys can see, that is the enemy team. There's Tiger 2, T-34. Quite powerful tanks to be up against. But then again, he's got a speed advantage, doesn't he? So Tiger 2 is quite a slow-moving tank. I mean, if he could get that sort of circling, encompassing effect, say if he was against the Tiger 2, he could go circle around it, and that is awesome if you could be able to do that. Just dodging all those attacks, right? So what he looks like he's doing it right now is engaging the Tiger. Notice that he's gone along the northern side of this map, not going down south, just because I guess maybe that would be impending doom. There's usually quite heavy defenses down south, from what I noticed on a lot of my matches in this map specifically. A lot of heavier tanks and tank destroyers tend to go down south because it's the defending point. That is where the enemy comes from on that southern bridge. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. If you can look off the map anyway. And as you guys can notice, actually down south, there's tons and tons of enemy tanks defending that area. And so I guess what he's preferring to do is maybe go up here where there's going to be easier tanks for him to pick off, like the Tiger and such, or if is a tier below him, I believe. Yes, in fact it is a tier below him, and so there you go, just nice and easy for him to take on. And plus, it's more open. Over here, it's more open specifically. He's not going through the center because it means a lot of other tanks could easily take him out from every single direction, pretty much. And so he's just going up here, working his way as best as he can. KV-13 already gone, being very smart with trying to take down his frontal armor, using his penetrative shots on the frontal armor, not anywhere else on the turrets. And this is something I know is really, really basic, but you guys honestly wouldn't believe about how many times people just aim for the turrets of tanks. I know if you can actually get a direct penetration on the gun itself, then yes, you can do damage to the actual gun. But then again, some people just aim specifically for the turrets, and it's just like, why? What are you trying to accomplish? And that's the exact last place you'd want to shoot. So what it looks like right now is that the enemies are winning by one single kill. Doesn't look like that's going to last too long, considering the VK up there is immobilized at the moment. But why is he not getting his track repaired? I have absolutely no idea. Maybe he already used up his repair kit. But then again, if you have a repair kit, use it as soon as you can. Again, another very, very basic point. I know all of you guys know this by now, but I notice in a lot of games people just don't even bother using repair kits. I don't know why. It's like if you get detracked, then use it, especially if you're out in the open. You don't want to die. Last thing that you want to do. So here we go. Looks like he's going to be relocating himself down south because it's a bit important, since we noticed all of those enemy tanks, the heavy ones, were penetrating down south. Not only were they defending, they were defended so well that they can actually be aggressive now. They've pushed completely off the vehicles down south, and so they're moving in towards the spawn at the moment. And where the hell is the artillery on this guy's team, on Z DeVille's team? It looks like he's actually dead. Oh no, 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 that is not good. So the enemy team still has their artillery. That is the last thing that you want when your artillery is dead and they still have theirs. Oh gosh, it just puts you at such a disadvantage. Because artillery specifically is going to be aiming for the heavier tanks. So this T-44 would be a prime target, heavier tank. And that's what the artillery needs to aim down specifically for. So we still don't know exactly who's going to win this. I suppose the ace tanker maybe gave it away, but it's still 2 kills that they are in the lead. Try to forget about what I said about the whole spoilers there, but try to enjoy what's going on. Looks like he's just going to be camping at the moment. Camping amongst the trees. And just waiting. I'm not exactly sure when they're gonna come out. Tiger 2 right over there. And there we go. Alright. You know, I've got a general idea, and I've actually been talking to a lot of people in games nowadays when I've been playing World of Tanks. I just put a quick statement out there. Every single time a match starts, I put a quick statement. Let them come to you. Don't go to them. Alright? Unless you're a scout, then of course go do some scouting. But the general idea of success in this game is letting your opponent come to you rather than you to them. It's natural because you obviously have the upper hand then. If they're coming to you, you see them before they can see you. Unless you're out in the open. The reason being is because they're moving, and that obviously means that they don't really have that camouflage bonuses or anything like that. So trust me, just try applying this to your own gaming technique. As you can see with the T-44 right now, let them come to you. It's something that you'll have to learn with, especially with tank destroyers, most specifically the USSR and the German tank destroyers. Reason being because they have immobile turrets. They cannot move around, rotate fully around the body of the hull like American tank destroyers. You have to learn to get camouflage and just hide in an area and wait for the enemy to come to you. Trust me on this, your game will improve a lot better if you just wait for the enemy to come to you. No, you don't have to camp. You don't have to just stay literally in your spawn the entire game. Go get a defensive positioning where the enemies would usually come, and just wait in that defensive positioning for them to peek around the corner or whatever, and you'll get those shots out before they can even see you, or get their shots out on you. It works very, very well, so I'd highly recommend you guys to actually try that. Still, we're waiting for this T-44 to do something. Come on, T-44! Stop being so slow! Well, then again, I can't really blame him. It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? I was just saying that he should get a defensive position and just wait for the enemy to come to him. But then again, for the sake of replays, I suppose we like seeing action, don't we? Well, if it adds to the suspense any bit, he's only got him and 2 other teammates on his team. And if you look at the enemy team, they've got seven tanks altogether. So that kind of puts the T-44 in a bad position, considering that's about a ratio of 2 to 1. Slightly over 2 to 1 that he has to deal with right now. That's not so good, is it? So it looks like he's going to be going up for another defensive positioning at the top of this hill, looking out across the peninsula over there, just to see if maybe any other enemy tanks would be coming this direction, because then he can snipe them out really, really easily. But then again, it really depends if they actually do come out. And again, another thing that I like with these, with this team specifically, is that they're playing defensively. Another thing, another pet peeve with that I notice in games, and this is more so with incompetent players, is that what they'll do is, say if your team is badly losing, they'll still try to play offensively. They'll still try to not wait for the enemy to come to them, but what they'll do is actually just look for the enemy. Even though they might be outnumbered 2-1, 3-1, whatever, they'll still go looking for the enemy. That's the last thing that you want to do, because it just means certain death, especially when it's 3-1. Just means that more tanks are going to be able to find you and kill you, right? This is what I love though. T-44 taking advantage of his maneuverability and speed, especially against this T-34 with his turret being so slow to traverse here. What he's doing is backing into a corner and slowly rotating his turret. Not quick enough. That was painfully slow. I'm sure you guys have been in positions like that before. I've been in positions like that with my Ferdinand, for example. Horrible, horrible stuff. When a tank is just freely going around you and there's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do, if time permits it and you have enough health, is to actually go back yourself into a corner. That's the only thing. If you can back yourself into a corner and prevent your enemy from getting that free rotation, that free movement around you, then you're going to be in a whole lot better position. IS ramming the side track of this T-44 right here. And look at the IS's turret. It's a bit longer than the tank itself, but still, what? He can penetrate it. That looks kind of silly, doesn't it? The IS with his turret, that was slightly longer than the T-44. I thought he was actually going to shoot through him, but I guess not. If you guys didn't notice in the distance there, the VK3601 has 1 HP. That is nothing. Oh my god, IS down to 43 HP with the T-34. Or sorry, the T-44 down to 34 HP. And oh my god, the shell bouncing off. Lucky for the T-44, his rounds load faster than the IS, but still, how many shots can the IS take? Oh god, that is it. I guess the IS must have reloaded really slowly, or was he just trying to look for a specific target? I'm not exactly fully aware of it. It looks like he was reloading really slowly, very painfully. That the T-44 could get out 3 shots on the IS before the IS could get out even a single shot. Is that even correct? I'm not sure. I don't play the IS, so I wouldn't know, but you guys have to fill me in there. But oh my god, horrible stuff. Complete comeback here, and this is what I mean. Wait for your opponent to come to you. As you guys can see with those, with the IS and the VK over there, they just waited for the enemies to come to them, and they just picked them off, and that was exactly what they needed. T-44 was in a defense position. He waited for the enemies to come to him, then he circled around them. That was what he needed to do, and this has changed the game entirely. So the VK has 1 HP, the T-44 has 3 HP, so they're not really working with that much at the moment. Considering that there's a Jagdpanzer on the team, the Jagdpanzer and the Hummel could definitely damage these vehicles and take them out in a single shot. I'm not sure about the IS, but definitely the T-44 and also the VK. Hummel right over there being taken out. Oh my gosh, 70 kills racked up for the T-44, and the Jagdpanzer taking out the VK that was behind the IS, it looked like, over there. God, I wish the replay system of World of Tanks was slightly better so I could change between players. That would be absolutely awesome if I could, but I guess we can't. And it looks like the T-44 is going to be going in for the Jagdpanzer. Same with the IS, so they're both going to be going for it together. Man, kind of scary situation to be in for the Jagdpanzer, isn't it? Just the fact that it's only you versus 2 heavy vehicles, the IS and T-44. Kind of scary, isn't it? But the time is ticking down. 43 seconds, 41 and counting down. They need to finish off this Jagdpanzer as soon as possible, but he's right on top of a hill there, isn't he? And trying to avoid any shots, but it looks like the IS got a few shots on him, and that is it. IS taking out the Jagdpanzer with 24 seconds to spare. That was with 2 times XP right there. You can see 4,790 with that many credits. That is a lot to be to earn, and that is how he got the ace tanker on the T-44. Let's take a look at the personal achievements because you guys wanted me to do it. Wow, look at that. Destroying this many tanks, 7 in total, detecting 6 tanks, damaging 3 other ones, receiving 13 shots, battle heroes, let's see, T-44 Top Gun, and those other ones got those achievements right there. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you want to send in your own ace tanker replays or whatever, then you can send it in to krebscoho@hotmail.co.uk. You can find the link, my email address, in the description box below. Likewise, hope you enjoyed this, and until next time guys, see you all later. Bye bye.